From the ancient pyramids buried deep in the Egyptian desert to the mysterious radio signals emanating from the heart of the Milky Way, our world is filled with secrets that have yet to be explained. Each discovery, whether it's a forgotten monument, a lost civilization, or a strange signal from the cosmos, has the power to change the way we view history and understand ourselves. Join us as we embark on a journey to uncover some of humanity's greatest mysteries. So fasten your seatbelt as we dive into today's mystery. But first, you'll have incredible luck if you like, and subscribe before this video ends. The mystery of the Northern Pyramid at Zawiya el-Aryan. If you're familiar with the majestic image of the Great Pyramid of Giza, you might be surprised to learn that not far from there stands a structure that has received little attention but is shrouded in countless unsolved mysteries. This is the Northern Pyramid at Zawiya el-Aryan. Today, this place is little more than a heap of rubble in the middle of a barren desert. Most archaeologists refer to it as the unfinished pyramid, since all that remains are shapeless ruins, their original form lost to time. Yet, there are many theories suggesting that the Northern Pyramid was actually completed long ago and was only destroyed later by some mysterious event that remains unknown to us. Unlike the Grand Pyramids that draw tourists from around the world, the Northern Pyramid has faded into obscurity. Only those with a true passion for ancient Egyptian history make the journey here, eager to see the ancient stone blocks that still survive. There are no crowds, no tour guides, and no dazzling floodlights. It is simply a lonely, deserted corner on Egypt's archaeological map, and perhaps because of that, it has managed to keep more of its secrets than any other site. What makes the Northern Pyramid truly unique is not just what's above ground, but what has been discovered below. In 1904, Italian archaeologist Alessandro Barsanti conducted an excavation and uncovered a massive underground chamber deep beneath the ruins. Right in the center of this chamber was a giant granite basin, shaped much like a bathtub but far larger, with a surface polished so finely that it reflected light like a mirror. Most remarkable of all, the basin was completely sealed with a perfectly fitting stone lid. Barsanti and his team found no trace that the basin had ever been opened or tampered with. This has raised many questions about the true purpose of the basin and why the ancients crafted it with such precision. There have been many theories to explain the function of this granite basin. Some researchers suggest it was designed to store special materials or hazardous liquids that needed to be kept absolutely safe. Others believe it was part of some advanced technological system, possibly even a component of an ancient power plant built by the Egyptians. While that idea may sound far-fetched, it has captured the imagination of many in the scientific community. Quite a few researchers believe that the ancient Egyptians may have known how to harness underground water flows beneath the pyramid, combining the granite structure and natural earth vibrations to generate some form of energy, possibly even electricity. Some do not rule out the possibility that these pyramids could absorb energy from the cosmos, thanks to their unique geometric design and the highly conductive building materials used. Interestingly, the famous scientist Nikola Tesla once studied the energy collecting and transmitting abilities of the pyramids. He theorized that the shape of the pyramids and the arrangement of the stone blocks could help attract and amplify the Earth's natural energy fields. Even though science has yet to fully prove these theories, the idea of an ancient power plant has breathed new life into debates over the mysteries of Egypt. However, since 1964, the entire area of the Northern Pyramid has been strictly controlled by the Egyptian military. All archaeological excavations and visits have been completely forbidden, and no one but military personnel is allowed to approach the site. This decades-long restriction has only added to the allure and intrigue surrounding the Northern Pyramid for those passionate about discovery. Many believe that hidden beneath the ground are still secrets of ancient technology, or perhaps even traces of some cataclysmic event that history has never recorded. Ireland, the real Atlantis? When people think of Atlantis, they often picture a legendary city swallowed by the deep ocean, home to a dazzling civilization that vanished in an instant from human history. Yet, few would expect that, amidst the green plains of Ireland, there stands an ancient monument that has forced modern scientists to reconsider everything they once assumed about the legend of Atlantis. This is Newgrange, a massive stone temple on the banks of the River Boyne. Newgrange was built over 5,000 years ago, making it even older than the pyramids of Giza in Egypt. The structure features a stone-vaulted dome with a narrow, winding passageway that leads to a central chamber. Every year on the winter solstice, sunlight streams directly down this passage, and illuminates the entire inner room for just a few brief moments. The people who built this monument did so with such absolute precision that archaeologists today still marvel at their accomplishment. Recently, a research group from Keystone University, together with Swedish scientist Dr. Ulf Erlingsson, put forward a bold new theory. They suggest that Newgrange is not just an ancient burial mound or a temple, as many have long believed, but could actually be the Temple of Atlantis, the very heart of an advanced civilization that once flourished in Europe before being destroyed by a cataclysmic tsunami. According to them, the descriptions in Plato's works about the mysterious city of Atlantis have striking similarities with the geography and architecture of the Boyne Valley. In particular, the vast scale of Newgrange, its complex passageways, and the exquisitely carved stone symbols are seen as evidence of a highly developed society that once thrived here. Moreover, scientists have discovered genetic traces in the DNA of modern Irish people. Numerous studies show that today's Irish population carries genetic traits from the Neolithic era, linking them to ancient peoples across continental Europe. Beyond that, achievements in construction technology, the crafting of stone tools, the transport of massive materials, and the organization of society all point to Ireland once being the center of a vibrant, advanced civilization. Archaeological sites scattered throughout the Boyne Valley reveal that these ancient inhabitants practiced agriculture, metallurgy, and seafaring from a very early period, all key elements that Plato himself mentioned in his descriptions of Atlantis. While the theory that Ireland is the real Atlantis remains highly controversial, the discovery of Newgrange, along with both genetic and archaeological evidence, has forced scholars to take a fresh look at European history. It is entirely possible that on this rain-soaked land of Ireland, a civilization once flourished in all its glory, only to disappear in a natural disaster, leaving behind one of the world's greatest unsolved mysteries. Project Horizon, the secret military base on the moon. In 1959, at the height of the intensifying space race between the United States and the Soviet Union, the US Army once devised a bold plan called Project Horizon. The objective of this project was nothing less than to build a secret military base on the moon. According to declassified documents released years later, American military experts believed that if they could gain control of the moon, they would hold the most important strategic position in the universe. From there, they could easily monitor activities on Earth and safeguard national security against any potential threat. The plan included sending equipment, weaponry, and even crews to the moon aboard dozens of spacecraft. Once there, the US military intended to construct, reinforce shelters, establish covert communication systems, and create storage facilities for long-term military operations. However, Project Horizon never became a reality. In 1958, the President of the United States signed a directive establishing NASA, transferring all space activities to the civilian sector instead of the military as originally intended. With NASA's creation, all of the Army's plans for the militarization of space were scrapped. Still, the idea of a secret military base on the moon has continued to capture the imagination, inspiring countless works of science fiction in the years that followed. Valiant Thor, the extraterrestrial at the Pentagon. In 1957, one of the strangest stories ever associated with extraterrestrials in America began to spread widely. The mysterious being known as Valiant Thor appeared. According to the accounts, Valiant Thor was not human but an alien who had come from Venus. He was said to have landed on Earth, appeared in the city of Alexandria, and was immediately taken to the Pentagon to meet President Dwight Eisenhower and other high-ranking officials in the US government. Many believe that Valiant Thor was tall, with a calm and gentle face, and possessed numerous extraordinary abilities. Some stories claim he could teleport instantly, heal wounds, and even manipulate matter at the molecular level. The legend also says that Valiant Thor lived at the Pentagon for 3 years, serving as a secret advisor to the US government on matters of science and space security. However, everything surrounding Valiant Thor remains purely in the realm of rumor. There is no concrete evidence of his existence, nor are there any official documents confirming that he ever appeared at the Pentagon. To this day, the story of Valiant Thor remains a well-known urban legend, adding yet another layer of mystery and intrigue to America's ever-growing collection of extraterrestrial tales. The KGB's alien, Project ISIS. In the 1960s, rumors began to surface about a top-secret operation called Project ISIS, allegedly carried out by the Soviet intelligence agency KGB in Egypt. According to the stories that circulated, the goal of this project was to search for and excavate an ancient tomb that Soviet scientists believed might contain the remains of an extraterrestrial being. Some reports claim that the KGB secretly collaborated with Egyptian archaeologists and the military, conducting covert excavations deep within the mysterious chambers of ancient pyramids. There are even accounts that, when Soviet specialists finally reached the tomb of the alien visitor, they discovered strange symbols on the walls and a mummy unlike any normal human. These markings were said to describe a race from the stars, beings who landed on Earth thousands of years ago and were revered by the ancient Egyptians as gods. However, to this day, no concrete evidence has ever been made public. All the details rely on hearsay, rumors, and documents of uncertain origin. The sea monster attack on the UB-85 submarine. In 1918, amid the tense days of the First World War, a strange story emerged about the German submarine UB-85. According to the tale, during a patrol in the North Sea, the submarine was suddenly attacked by a mysterious creature from the depths. As recounted by the captain and crew after they were captured by the British, the monster had a bizarre appearance, with huge jaws, glowing eyes, and even horns on its head. The captain claimed that the beast surged up from the water, bit into the front section of the sub, and severely damaged its equipment, leaving the vessel unable to dive. The crew was forced to surface, where they were discovered by a British warship and ultimately taken prisoner. The survivors recounted the incident in vivid detail, and the story of the sea monster and the UB-85 quickly spread and became legend for decades. To this day, researchers still debate the truth behind the event. Some suggest it was merely an excuse to cover up a technical malfunction, but many others believe that in the vast, uncharted oceans, there are still creatures no one has ever seen. The mysterious cave entrance on Greenwich Island. Clues for Earth, shattering theories. In 2019, a surprising discovery on Google Earth caused a stir across the internet. The image of a massive cave entrance appeared on Greenwich Island, set in the remote, icy wilderness off the coast of Antarctica. What caught everyone's attention was the sheer size of the opening, perched right on a gleaming white ice cliff. It looked like a passage leading deep beneath the earth. As soon as the image spread, countless theories began to emerge. Some speculated that this could be evidence of a secret base once used during the World War. Others dreamed of the possibility that this was the entrance to a lost city buried beneath the ice, or perhaps even a gateway to Hollow Earth, one of the strangest conspiracy theories about the structure of our planet. Strangely enough, just a few months later, the image of the cave suddenly vanished from Google Earth without any official explanation. This mysterious disappearance only fueled further suspicion and gave new life to the spreading conspiracy theories. To this day, there is no scientific evidence confirming the true origin of the cave on Greenwich Island. Nevertheless, its story remains a hot topic in the online mystery hunting community and continues to inspire adventurers to imagine what might still be hidden at the very edge of the Earth. George Gorman's UFO dogfight. In 1948, just 3 years after the famous Roswell incident, the U.S. Air Force once again recorded a strange encounter with an unidentified flying object. This time, it happened in the skies over Fargo, North Dakota, and the witness was none other than pilot George Gorman, a World War II veteran with extensive flight experience. On the evening of the 1st of October, after completing a training flight, Gorman decided to stay aloft a little longer for extra practice, as there were almost no other aircraft in the sky. Suddenly, he spotted a small light darting past his plane. At first, Gorman thought it was a small aircraft or perhaps a weather balloon, but the object soon began moving at speeds far beyond any aviation technology of that era. He described it as a small, round, glowing white object that sometimes shot straight upward at astonishing speed, then suddenly swerved sharply or looped around in the air. In this one-of-a-kind dogfight, Gorman repeatedly tried to accelerate and chase down the object, but it always seemed to anticipate his moves, sometimes even reversing course, swooping close to his plane and then streaking upward into the darkness. Remarkably, Gorman was not the only witness to the event. 2 air traffic controllers at Fargo Airport's tower, as well as another pilot on the ground, also confirmed seeing the strange object in the night sky. Afterward, the U.S. Air Force launched an investigation but was unable to offer any reasonable explanation for what had occurred. Project Artichoke. In the early 1950s, the Central Intelligence Agency launched a top-secret project called Artichoke, aimed at researching methods of controlling the human mind. This was the height of the Cold War, a time when fears of espionage and psychological warfare drove the US government to pursue every possible measure to protect national security. Under the cover of a behavioral science program, CIA scientists and experts conducted experiments on a wide range of subjects, including prisoners and even soldiers. Their goal was to control human consciousness by any means necessary. They used sedatives such as morphine, LSD, and various other drugs to test whether they could induce temporary amnesia or make individuals more susceptible to suggestion. Hypnosis was also used in attempts to force people to reveal secrets or perform actions against their own will. Declassified documents later revealed that, as part of Project Artichoke, the CIA even experimented with extreme measures like psychological torture and electric shock to break down a victim's will. The ultimate aim was to discover a way to turn a person into a machine that would obey orders, even against their own instincts for survival. Although Project Artichoke officially ended in 1953, the research laid the groundwork for the even more notorious mind control program known as MK-Ultra. To this day, many details of what truly happened during Project Artichoke remain classified, but the project stands as a testament to the Cold War era's obsession with, and fear of, the possibility of manipulating the human mind through science. The Azorian Project. The Azorian Project stands as one of the most secretive operations ever carried out by the CIA during the Cold War era. The story began in 1968, when the Soviet submarine K-129 mysteriously disappeared in the Pacific Ocean. For the United States, this was an event of enormous significance, as the lost submarine was believed to hold not only the lives of its crew, but also vital military secrets, possibly even nuclear warheads. When the Soviets failed to locate the wreck, the Americans quietly launched their own operation, determined to uncover any information they could. To accomplish this extraordinary mission, the CIA devised a remarkably bold plan. They partnered with the famous billionaire Howard Hughes, who was widely known at the time for his vast technology and mining ventures. Hughes's team constructed a massive recovery vessel called the Hughes Glomar Explorer. Outwardly, this ship was promoted as a platform for deep-sea manganese mining. In reality, however, its true purpose was far different. The Hughes Glomar Explorer was equipped with the most advanced technology America could produce at the time, with a single goal in mind: to reach the wreckage of the K-129, resting nearly 16,000 feet below the surface of the Pacific. The recovery effort itself was an enormous challenge for every engineer involved. The ship's giant grappling systems had to operate with absolute precision, as even the slightest error could cause the submarine's remains to plunge forever into the ocean depths. After months of meticulous preparation, the crew finally succeeded in lifting part of the K-129 from the seafloor. However, the tremendous weight proved too much for the recovery gear, and the submarine's hull broke in two as it was being raised. Only a portion of the sub made it onto the recovery vessel, while the rest fell back to the ocean floor. Among the items brought up were several bodies of Soviet sailors, whom the Americans respectfully buried at sea and later returned to Russia years afterward. Even though only part of the submarine was recovered, the intelligence value gained from the Azorian project proved immense for the United States. The ultra-secret underground bunker project beneath Washington. In the 1960s, as the threat of nuclear war between the United States and the Soviet Union reached its peak, the Pentagon proposed an extraordinarily ambitious project to construct a top-secret military command bunker deep beneath the nation's capital, right under Washington, D.C. The plan envisioned a national operations center that could withstand multiple nuclear strikes, with the bunker dug as deep as 1,000 meters underground. According to the proposal, this underground complex would be equipped with command rooms, advanced communication systems, power supplies, water, and enough stored provisions to allow America's top leaders to survive and continue running the country in the event of nuclear war. Only a select group would be granted access: the President, the Secretary of Defense, top military commanders, and several other high-ranking officials. In an emergency, these individuals would be evacuated into the bunker through secret passageways connecting directly to the White House and other key government buildings in the heart of the city. However, the project was never realized for several reasons. First, the estimated cost of construction was enormous, especially given that the technical demands far exceeded what was realistically possible at the time. At the same period, the U.S. military began building a number of command and shelter centers at alternative locations, such as Cheyenne Mountain in Colorado and Raven Rock in Pennsylvania, which helped meet the need for strategic command protection in case of a nuclear attack. As a result, the idea of an ultra-secret bunker beneath downtown Washington, D.C. remained only on paper. Still, it vividly reflected the sense of anxiety, tension, and deep-seated fears about national security that defined the Cold War era. Wartime UFOs of World War II. In the final years of World War II, American and British pilots repeatedly reported encounters with mysterious, glowing objects while flying night patrols over Europe. These objects soon became known by the nickname Foo Fighters. According to the pilots' accounts, the Foo Fighters appeared suddenly as bright orbs of orange, red, or white light, moving at high speeds, sometimes flying in parallel with the planes, sometimes closing in before vanishing without a trace. What made these sightings especially baffling was that ground-based radar equipment never picked up any unusual signals, even though the pilots could clearly see the strange lights moving through the sky. On some occasions, the objects would fly in a straight line or form into a T shape before disappearing in an instant. At first, some suspected they might be a new secret weapon developed by the German military, or perhaps just some rare atmospheric phenomenon. However, despite being observed and documented many times, the true origin of the Foo Fighters was never explained. Pilots described how these objects could keep pace with fighter planes at remarkable speeds, circling around them and showing no reaction to evasive maneuvers or even attacks. The reports of the Foo Fighters became one of the greatest mysteries in the history of military aviation, and to this day, experts still have no satisfactory answer for the strange lights that haunted the skies over Europe during World War II. UFO-induced mysterious illness in Korea. Amid the intense battles of the Korean War, a mysterious incident occurred that continues to stir curiosity and debate to this day. This was the so-called UFO sickness near Seoul, South Korea. According to accounts from American soldiers serving at the time, one night they witnessed a strange orb of light appearing in the sky. The orb blinked and shimmered, moving at incredible speeds, sometimes even changing color as it hovered above an open field near the front lines. Some of the soldiers claimed they saw this unidentified flying object circling the camp, undeterred by heavy artillery fire from both sides. There were even reports that when they fired at the object, the bullets struck it with a metallic sound but caused no damage whatsoever. After that, the orb emitted a wave of strange energy that swept over the position of the American troops. Not long after the incident, many soldiers began to develop unusual symptoms, such as high fever, digestive problems, headaches, and dizziness. Military doctors examined them and discovered that all these men showed signs of radiation exposure, with abnormally high white blood cell counts. Some suggested that this might be a side effect of new weaponry or a chemical accident, but many still believe the appearance of the mysterious orb was a true encounter with an unidentified flying object, a UFO, that left real health consequences for those involved. The event was quickly covered up by the military, and to this day, no official explanation has ever been given. The mysterious flying machine in Afghanistan. In the early 2010s, a strange rumor began to circulate across international forums and social media. A group of American soldiers had supposedly discovered an ancient flying object while on duty in the rugged mountains of Afghanistan. According to the story, 8 members of a U.S. Special Operations Unit accidentally stumbled upon a Vimana, the legendary flying machine described in ancient Hindu mythology, hidden deep inside a mysterious cave. Those who have recounted the event described the craft as unlike any modern technology known to mankind. The object was said to be constructed from an unknown metal, covered in ancient motifs, and surrounded by an invisible force field that made it impossible to approach. According to the rumors, after the American soldiers tried to reach the machine, they all vanished without a trace, adding a further layer of mystery. Some even claimed that the US military immediately sealed off the area, removed the object from Afghanistan, and kept all related information strictly classified. In reality, however, no concrete evidence has ever been published to confirm the existence of a Vimana in Afghanistan. All that remains are word-of-mouth tales, theories circulated online, and stories featured in speculative documentaries. the Dulce alien base. The story of the Dulce base in New Mexico has long been one of America's most mysterious and controversial legends. According to rumors spread across countless forums and unofficial documents, a top-secret facility is said to exist hundreds of meters underground beneath the tiny town of Dulce, New Mexico. Many believe this is where the US military and secret organizations collaborate with extraterrestrials on research projects far beyond the limits of human understanding. According to accounts from several anonymous former employees, the Dulce base consists of multiple levels, each serving a different purpose. The deepest levels are rumored to house strange biological specimens and even laboratories dedicated to the hybridization of humans and creatures never before seen. Some speculate that scientists here have conducted genetic experiments to create hybrid beings, half human, half animal, or even half human, half alien. Beyond that, Dulce is also tied to rumors of advanced technology that the US government is determined to keep hidden. Some residents near Dulce have claimed to witness mysterious lights, hear strange sounds echoing from beneath the ground, or even observe unusual military activity in the area at night. To this day, no concrete evidence has ever been released to confirm the existence of the Dulce base. Yet the legend continues to capture the curiosity and suspicion of millions around the world. America's Secret Army. In 2021, Newsweek magazine drew widespread attention when it published information about a massive secret force operated by the Pentagon. According to the article, the US Department of Defense maintains a clandestine army of roughly 60,000 personnel, scattered across numerous countries around the world. Unlike the conventional image of the military, the members of this force do not wear uniforms and do not appear openly at military bases. Most of them blend in as civilians or business people, with some even holding positions at major corporations or running small businesses. Others take on false identities, assuming various roles to infiltrate organizations, gather intelligence, or carry out special covert operations. Beyond their field activities, this force also plays a crucial role in the realm of cyber warfare, conducting missions that affect global cybersecurity. The Pentagon and related agencies rarely release any details about this force. All specific information remains highly classified, and even those living next door have no idea of the true identities of these mysterious neighbors. As a result, America's Shadow Army continues to be one of the great mysteries of the modern world, fueling endless curiosity and speculation from both the public and experts alike. The strange symbol, linking the Khufu Pyramid and the Roswell UFO, one of the most mysterious and controversial rumors of the 20th century, connects the famous 1947 Roswell UFO crash to the distant world of ancient Egypt. According to stories that began circulating in the 1970s, US military personnel discovered strange fragments from the crashed flying saucer in Roswell. On the surface of these metallic pieces were symbols and patterns that no one had ever seen before. What makes the story even more intriguing is the account of Jesse Marcel Jr., the son of Air Force officer Jesse Marcel, who was directly involved in recovering the debris. He told the press that he had personally seen a unique symbol on one of the fragments. When he compared it, he claimed that this symbol was strikingly similar to an inscription found above the entrance to the Great Pyramid of Khufu at Giza, Egypt. This symbol was described as a mysterious geometric shape, not a form of conventional writing, and to this day, no one has been able to explain its true meaning. This coincidence has sparked many theories, suggesting that the ancient Egyptians may have had some connection with an extraterrestrial civilization, or that they witnessed something far beyond the knowledge of humanity at the time. The return of the Anunnaki. For decades, stories about the Anunnaki have persisted in debates about the origins of humanity and the mysteries of extraterrestrial life. According to some unofficial sources, the Anunnaki are not just legends, but in fact a real extraterrestrial race that once visited and profoundly influenced the ancient civilization of Mesopotamia around 5,000 years ago. These theories became even more captivating when rumors began to circulate that the Anunnaki would one day return to Earth. Some UFO researchers and former military officials have hinted that the US military, as well as other major world powers, possess information about this mysterious presence. They claim that the Anunnaki have not only been observing Earth, but have also directly intervened in major human events during the 20th century. In particular, some former astronauts, including Edgar Mitchell, who once walked on the moon, have told the press that they heard stories about UFOs appearing around American and Soviet nuclear test sites during the Cold War. According to these accounts, there were mysterious incidents where automatic missile launch systems were disabled or electronic devices were rendered useless, abruptly halting tests. Some believe these were acts of intervention by extraterrestrial forces, specifically the Anunnaki, intended to warn humanity about the dangers of nuclear war. Martian mineral in Antarctic ice, clues to the frozen past of the Red Planet. In recent years, scientists have made a remarkable discovery while studying deep ice cores extracted from Antarctica. Buried hundreds of meters beneath the surface, within ancient sediment layers, they found a mineral known as jarosite. What makes this finding so extraordinary is that on Earth, jarosite is an extremely rare mineral, yet on Mars, it is surprisingly common and has been detected by NASA's rovers at many locations across the Red Planet's surface. Jarosite forms under very specific conditions. It requires the presence of water, acidic soil, and prolonged freezing processes that last millions of years. For this reason, the discovery of jarosite within Antarctic ice cores has raised a profound question among scientists. Could the processes that shaped the icy landscape of Antarctica be closely linked to the ancient climate history of Mars? Experts believe that the presence of jarosite provides crucial evidence supporting the theory that Mars once experienced an ice age, during which liquid water and ice coexisted in extreme environments, much like those seen in Antarctica today. By comparing physical samples and analyzing their chemistry, researchers hope to gain deeper insights into the climate cycles of both planets, as well as the potential for water, the essential ingredient for life, to exist elsewhere in the cosmos. UFO over Antarctica. In the summer of 1965, Antarctica unexpectedly became the center of one of the strangest events in the history of UFO research. On the 2nd of July, 1965, 3 research bases, operated by Argentina, Chile, and the United Kingdom, all reported the appearance of a UFO in the Antarctic sky at the very same time. The incident began when researchers at Argentina's Orcadas base spotted a glowing object moving rapidly across the sky, its color shifting continuously from red to green to yellow. This strange phenomenon lasted for about 20 minutes, and the witnesses immediately filed an official report, sending it to their superiors in Buenos Aires. Almost simultaneously, personnel at the Chilean Air Force Base on Deception Island confirmed seeing a similarly described, unidentified flying object, which appeared and vanished quickly against the icy horizon. Not long after, the British team stationed at a nearby research post also recorded unusual signals, including multicolored lights moving at remarkable speed. What makes this case especially noteworthy is that all of these sightings were officially documented and submitted to their respective governments. Years later, the records of this event were declassified, confirming that this was not an isolated incident or a mere illusion. However, to this day, no satisfactory scientific explanation has been offered for the origin of the mysterious flying object that appeared simultaneously before the eyes of so many international experts at the end of the world. Admiral Richard Byrd and the Hollow Earth Theory. In 1947, Admiral Richard Byrd of the United States Navy undertook a special survey flight to the Arctic, a journey that would later become the focal point of some of the most controversial theories in the history of exploration. According to documents that circulated afterward, during his flight over the Arctic, Admiral Byrd claimed to have seen a land completely unlike the familiar icy landscape. He reported flying into a region with a tropical climate, lush greenery, and even witnessing enormous creatures never before known to science. Some believe that Byrd had inadvertently passed through a gateway at the North Pole, leading into the interior of the Earth, a place said to be home to a secret world filled with rich vegetation and strange life forms. These accounts helped ignite the Hollow Earth theory, which proposes that beneath the Earth's crust lies a vast interior space, possibly inhabited by ancient civilizations or mysterious beings. Mainstream scientists have consistently rejected the Hollow Earth theory, arguing that Byrd's story was either a misunderstanding or has been greatly exaggerated over time. There is no scientific evidence to support what he described. Nevertheless, Admiral Byrd's tale remains popular among mystery enthusiasts and conspiracy theorists, continuing to inspire countless books, films, and endless debates about the hidden secrets of our planet. The gruesome trophies of World War II. During the brutal years of World War II in the Pacific Theater, there is a little-known story that left a haunting mark on both those who lived through it and the generations that followed. This was the practice by some American soldiers fighting on islands across Asia of taking the heads, skulls, or body parts of Japanese soldiers as war trophies. Such acts were fueled not only by intense hostility, but also by the charged atmosphere of violence and extreme wartime propaganda. There is substantial evidence that some American troops sent parts of Japanese soldiers' bodies back home as a way to flaunt their achievements. Skulls and jawbones were even turned into macabre decorations. Some famous archival photographs show American women posing beside skulls shipped from the battlefield, sometimes inscribed with notes from the soldiers themselves. The practice became so widespread and disturbing that, within a short time, the U.S. military command was forced to issue a strict ban on taking and keeping enemy body parts as trophies. This order was widely publicized in an effort to curb inhumane actions and to preserve the image of the American military, both internationally and at home. Although the practice was suppressed, the psychological consequences and the imagery of these gruesome trophies continue to haunt many generations. This stands as one of the darkest chapters, a stark reminder of the brutality and heartbreaking moral compromises of war, where even those fighting for a just cause can cross the boundaries of humanity. The Alenin Antenna, beneath the Antarctic Sea. In the summer of 1964, the USNS Alenin, a research vessel of the United States Navy, set out on an ambitious expedition to the South Pacific. Their destination was not a famous island or a sun-soaked coastline, but the cold, remote waters near Antarctica, a place few humans had ever ventured. Everything proceeded as expected until the ship reached a set of coordinates in the middle of the ocean, where only frigid waves, gray skies, and drifting ice prevailed year-round. When the scientists lowered their camera equipment to a depth of 13,500 feet, nearly 4,100 meters beneath the surface, they did not expect to find anything beyond the limits of their imagination. But then, on the 29th of August, the device captured an image that left the entire crew stunned. In the photograph, an object lay amid the mud and sand of the ocean floor, appearing at first glance like some kind of telecommunications device recently lost at sea. The object had a strange shape, featuring a vertical shaft with symmetrical arms radiating outward, strikingly similar to a modern antenna, clearly designed with purpose. No one aboard the ship could make sense of what they were seeing. They couldn't tell if it was a natural formation or the product of some unknown civilization. Doubt quickly turned to curiosity, and then to unease. When the ship finally docked in New Zealand at the end of the year, word of the mysterious object spread rapidly throughout the scientific community. The New Zealand Herald was the first to break the story, publishing an article titled "Mysterious Photo from the Ocean Floor" on its front page. Within days, news of the antenna-like object near Antarctica caused a stir among both academics and conspiracy theorists. Some speculated it was a secret device from a classified military project. Others believed it was proof that extraterrestrials were monitoring humanity from the depths of the ocean. In the years that followed, especially during the 1970s, many UFO and paranormal magazines reported extensively on the object. Wild theories grew, such as the idea that it was part of a network of alien antennas scattered across the world's oceans to observe Earth. Two well-known authors, Brad Steiger and Joan Reitner, discussed the story in Saga magazine, going so far as to claim that the Alenin photograph was direct evidence of alien technology on our seafloor. Still, strangely, the original photo taken by the Alenin was never publicly released. From 1968 onward, the mystery of the Alenin antenna moved beyond the realm of mainstream science to become a hot topic in communities fascinated by unexplained phenomena. Some even insisted that the object was a marker for a UFO highway deep beneath the sea, allowing alien spacecraft to travel in secret, undetected by humans. Not everyone, however, bought into these fantastic tales. In 2003, a researcher named Larry Hatch set out to find a more rational explanation. After combing through numerous scientific reports on deep-sea life, Larry Hatch discovered that a species of sponge, Chondrocladia lyra, first identified in the late 19th century, looked almost identical to the object in the Alenin photo. This sponge lives on the ocean floor, its slender body rising high with perfectly symmetrical branches, easily mistaken for advanced technology created by humans or another civilization. According to marine biologists, Chondrocladia lyra typically grows alone in deep, dark waters, so it's entirely possible but the 1964 photograph simply captured an unusually large specimen of this remarkable species. The secret ice caves beneath Mount Erebus, warm oases of hidden life in Antarctica. You might be surprised to learn that beneath the thick, 100-meter layers of ice surrounding Mount Erebus in Antarctica lies a completely different world. Here, scientists have discovered strange ice caves where temperatures can reach up to 20 degrees Celsius, equivalent to a warm spring day in many cities around the globe. These caves are formed by streams of hot gas constantly escaping from the volcano's crater, melting the overlying ice and creating a network of winding underground passageways. Inside, the air is humid and warm, with gentle light filtering through thin layers of ice, creating ideal conditions for life to flourish, something once thought impossible in the coldest place on Earth. What's truly remarkable is that when scientists collected and analyzed soil, water, and air samples from these caves, they discovered DNA from entirely new organisms, species never before recorded. In addition, mosses, algae, and invertebrates have thrived in these small but unique environments. These miniature ecosystems have led researchers to ask, if life can exist and thrive in such extreme conditions here, might it also emerge in even harsher environments elsewhere, such as on Mars? The discovery of these secret ice caves around Erebus has not only opened a new chapter in Antarctic biodiversity research, but also offered valuable clues for the search for life beyond our planet. These warm and mysterious oases are proof that even in the most frigid and seemingly lifeless places, there can be extraordinary wonders hidden beyond our imagination. The Ningyo legend, mysterious monster beneath the Antarctic ice. If you've ever heard tales of sea monsters, you'll understand why the story of the Ningyo has intrigued so many people for over 2 decades. It all began in 2002, when members of an alleged deep-sea research team shared their strange experience in the frigid waters near Antarctica on a Japanese internet forum. According to their account, on a dark night, their research vessel suddenly detected a gigantic creature gliding silently beneath the ice. Its appearance was truly extraordinary. Its body stretched up to 30 meters long, pale and worn as if eroded by the cold, with hollow eyes and hands and fingers eerily human, yet unusually elongated. The images described in these accounts immediately caused a sensation in the Japanese online community. Many began to call the creature Ningyo, inspired by the ancient mermaid legends, but with a ghostly, chilling twist. Some believed the Ningyo was simply a massive albino ray, or an unknown deep-sea creature never before cataloged by modern science. Yet others argued that it was undeniable evidence of truly mysterious life lurking beneath Antarctica's eternal ice. The mystery only deepened as rumors spread that the Japanese government had quietly seized any evidence of the Ningyo, preferring not to make it public. Some even claimed that video footage and photos of the creature were wiped clean from the internet, and anyone who encountered this evidence was instructed to remain silent. Nevertheless, despite all these fantastic stories, no scientific proof has ever confirmed the existence of the Ningyo. No marine biologist has ever documented a creature matching its description, and the international research community still classifies the Ningyo as a figure of legend and urban myth. Rumors of an alien spaceship in Antarctica. When ice becomes the subject of strange theories. In 2023, a series of satellite images taken over Antarctica suddenly sparked a sensation online, especially among UFO enthusiasts and those fascinated by unsolved mysteries. Amateur UFO researchers released photos that they claimed showed a massive object lying atop the endless white ice, its shape unusual and featuring details described as glowing amid the most desolate, frozen wilderness on Earth. A wide range of theories quickly emerged. Some believed the object was an alien spaceship that crashed to Earth in ancient times, while others insisted it might be a secret base buried beneath the ice or the remnants of a lost civilization. News sites, online forums, and social media rapidly spread the rumors, with some people even pointing out supposed technological traces on the icy surface, based on the object's peculiar color or outline. Yet alongside the wave of curiosity and excitement, the scientific community remained skeptical. As of now, there is no verified evidence or accepted scientific analysis regarding these images. Many experts believe that the so-called unusual structures are most likely the result of natural phenomena, such as ice collapse, exposed rocks, or light and shadow effects that create optical illusions when seen from space. The Lenin bust in Antarctica. If you ever explore the mysteries of Antarctica, you can hardly overlook one of the strangest relics from the Cold War era, the bust of Vladimir Lenin set at the most remote spot on this frozen continent. This place is officially known as the southern pole of inaccessibility, the point on the continent farthest from any coastline. The story began in 1958, when Soviet explorers set out on a journey few had ever dared to imagine. They brought with them all the necessary equipment, fuel, food, and, most notably, a bronze bust of Lenin. Their goal was not just to reach the pole of inaccessibility, but also to establish a small research station, a symbolic statement of sovereignty and human will during a time of fierce competition between superpowers. The explorers spent months braving biting winds, blizzards, and unimaginable hardships, all to fulfill this singular and symbolic mission. After the station was built, the Soviet team placed the Lenin bust atop the roof, facing Moscow, as a silent signal back to their homeland on the other side of the globe. But the harsh conditions at the southern pole were never meant for humans. Not long after, overwhelmed by the brutal weather, the expedition was forced to withdraw, leaving behind their structures and the bust amid the endless ice. Over the decades, the station became almost entirely buried by snow and ice. Only Lenin's head remained exposed, quietly gazing northward. Today, the site of the Lenin bust has become a challenging destination for modern explorers. Each year, only a handful of teams are able to reach this remote spot, often taking photos with the Lenin at the pole of inaccessibility as a way to commemorate a truly unique achievement in the history of Antarctic exploration. Though the old Soviet station now lies deep beneath the ice, Lenin's face still stands proudly amidst the vast white expanse, a lasting reminder of an era when humanity dared to confront the impossible. The Doomsday Glacier, Thwaites Glacier, the ticking time bomb of global climate change. In West Antarctica, hidden beneath layers of cold clouds and ancient ice, lies one of the largest and most dangerous glaciers in the world, Thwaites Glacier. Covering an area nearly the size of the state of Florida, Thwaites is not just a massive block of ice. It is at the center of urgent warnings from scientists about the future of our planet's climate. Over the past 30 years, the rate at which Thwaites is melting has doubled compared to previous decades. The latest research shows that warm seawater is seeping deep beneath the glacier's base, destabilizing the ice and increasing the risk of massive collapses. This phenomenon has earned Thwaites the ominous nickname the Doomsday Glacier, because if it were ever to collapse completely, global sea levels could rise dramatically, threatening coastal cities all over the world. But it is not just Thwaites' immense scale that draws attention. The glacier has become a focal point for international scientific monitoring. Icebreakers, underwater robots, and monitoring stations are deployed to study every change in the glacier's condition. Each ice sample, every flow of subglacial water, is meticulously analyzed in an effort to predict what the future may hold if Thwaites gives way. Although this process will not unfold overnight, the rapid disappearance of the Thwaites Glacier stands as a stark reminder that climate change is not a problem isolated to any one region. Its impact will ripple across the globe, affecting every community that lives near the sea. The story of Thwaites Glacier, then, is not only a scientific one, it is a wake-up call, a reminder of humanity's responsibility to the only blue planet we call home. Stonehenge and the ancient stone structures of Scotland, a defense system against extraterrestrials. If you've ever looked at the ancient stone structures scattered across Scotland and assumed they were nothing more than ordinary archaeological relics, it's time to consider a radically different theory. Ron Halliday, a well-known UFO researcher in Scotland, believes these ancient stoneworks are not simply places of worship or gathering sites for prehistoric peoples, but may actually form a defensive system built to ward off forces not of this earth. Ron Halliday has spent years studying stone monuments all over Scotland. Sites like the ancient stone circles, the towering Broch towers rising from the windswept fields, and the layered piles of cairns, all of them possess an uncanny air of mystery. To most archaeologists, these are remnants left by ancient people for rituals or as places of shelter, but Halliday sees them in a completely different light. According to him, during the Stone Age and Bronze Age, our ancestors in Scotland faced a fear that today we might call an obsession with beings from the sky. He believes these structures represent a collective effort to shield communities from a mysterious threat descending from above. One piece of evidence Halliday often cites is the pair of famous sites in the Orkney Islands of northern Scotland, Skara Brae and Maeshowe. Archaeologists explain these as settlements or ceremonial burial places. But Halliday has another perspective. He suggests that the thick stone walls and underground passageways seem more like fortifications against a real threat than mere protection from the wind or wild animals. In his view, these could be ancient bunkers, constructed to protect inhabitants from attacks that came from the sky. Halliday also points to the enigmatic Pictish stones, slabs of rock found throughout Scotland, inscribed with symbols and drawings that remain undeciphered to this day. Some of these carvings appear to show people fleeing or panicking before some force descending from above. Halliday wonders if these ancient artists were trying to warn future generations of a mysterious invasion they once endured. Another remarkable feature is the brocks themselves, tall, round stone fortresses, the ruins of which still dot the Scottish countryside. Some believe they were sturdy homes against wild beasts or enemies, while others see them as symbols of tribal power. Yet Halliday offers a different interpretation. He suggests the brocks might have been signals sent skyward, or warnings to extraterrestrial beings that this land was claimed. Or perhaps they simply served as a way for our ancestors to say, "We know you're up there, and we are prepared to defend ourselves." For centuries, historians and archaeologists have debated the true purpose of Scotland's ancient stone structures. Some see them as community projects designed to connect people with nature. Others believe they were built for religious or astronomical reasons. But if Ron Halliday's theory is correct, it would mean that ancient Scots may have been humanity's very first line of defense against a threat from outer space. The idea may sound far-fetched, but standing amid those silent, wind-swept stone circles, some thousands of years old, you can't help but feel that human history still harbors mysteries we have yet to understand. The UFO disclosure movement in the US government. Recently, the UFO story has entered an entirely new phase, as the US government may soon release a wave of secret documents on the subject. Nick Pope, a name well known in UFO research circles worldwide, former official at the British Ministry of Defense, and a leading expert on unexplained phenomena, made headlines with a stunning recent revelation. According to Pope, during President Donald Trump's administration, a new federal task force was created with a special mission to declassify mysteries that the US government had kept hidden for many years. According to Nick Pope, not only UFO files, but a host of other top-secret documents could soon be made public as well. What draws the most attention are the testimonies of pilots, radar operators, and military experts who have had direct encounters with unidentified flying objects. Many pilots have reported that they regularly saw UFOs appear on radar screens, moving at speeds and with maneuvers that no modern human aircraft could replicate. A number of these witnesses served in the military for decades, but had never encountered anything so bizarre before. Nick Pope believes that if these documents are released, they could reveal much more than accounts of UFO sightings. They may actually change the way we understand humanity's place in the universe. The secrets surrounding UFOs are not limited to mysterious encounters, but may also touch on technology, military strategy, and even the possible existence of another civilization beyond Earth. And the disclosure movement doesn't stop with UFOs. It could open the door to many other once explosive secret files. Reportedly, documents related to famous assassinations in American history, the true origins of the COVID-19 pandemic, and even lists of clients tied to Jeffrey Epstein are all among those that could be made public. This prospect has captured the attention not only of the UFO research community, but of anyone fascinated by the secrets that have been hidden away for so many years. The theory that Rh-negative blood is an extraterrestrial genetic trace. Did you know that only about 15% of the world's population carries H-negative blood? This rarity has led many people to question, and even speculate about, the true origins of this unique blood type. For a long time, conspiracy theories have swirled around H-negative blood. One of the most prominent and unusual theories suggests that Rh-negative blood is actually a remnant left behind by extraterrestrials who once interbred with humans. Supporters of this idea believe that the presence of H-negative blood is the result of an ancient genetic intervention, when an advanced civilization from beyond Earth visited our planet and left their mark in our DNA. They argue that differences in blood type are not merely random, but are evidence of a distinct, possibly even non-human lineage. The most striking point, cited by proponents of this theory, is what happens when a woman with H-negative blood is pregnant with an H-positive baby. In many cases, the mother's body recognizes the fetus as a foreign presence and begins producing antibodies to attack it. This phenomenon has only fueled suspicions about a possible non-human origin for the two blood groups, a detail that believers in the alien theory often use to strengthen their claims. Modern science, however, offers a completely different explanation. Geneticists point out that H-negative blood is simply a natural genetic mutation that emerged during human evolution. When an H-negative mother's immune system attacks an H-positive fetus, it is actually just a normal immune response, much like how our bodies react to unfamiliar viruses or bacteria. It's a natural defense mechanism, not a sign of extraterrestrial origin or a fundamentally different species. Even so, the debate over the origins of H-negative blood continues. For those who love mysteries and asking big questions, the story of H-negative blood remains an endlessly fascinating subject. Maybe it's just a random quirk of nature, or perhaps, as some still believe, hidden somewhere in our blood lies a tiny fragment of heritage from visitors beyond the stars. The mystery of the natural nuclear reactor at Oklo Gabon, mark of nature or ancient intelligence. If there is any discovery that has ever shaken the scientific community and forced researchers around the world to rethink what they know about Earth's history, it is undoubtedly the mystery at the Oklo mine in Gabon. Not a pyramid, not a UFO, but this site has raised profound questions about the powers of nature and perhaps what once existed on this planet billions of years ago. The story begins in 1972, when a scientist working at a nuclear processing plant in France was performing a routine inspection. He received a sample of uranium imported from the Oklo mine in Gabon. What seemed like an ordinary task quickly turned into a major scientific investigation when he discovered that the ratio of uranium-235 isotopes in the sample was far lower than standard. Instead of reaching 0.72% like every other uranium deposit on Earth, the Oklo sample measured only about 0.60%. This seemingly small difference was actually a major red flag, since uranium-235 is the most critical isotope for nuclear reactions. Following this discovery, scientists launched a joint investigation, and what they found was truly beyond imagination. By carefully studying the rock layers and mineral composition at the Oklo site, they realized that,